If I wanted to become a developer in 2026, this is exactly what I would do. Because honestly, right now, beginners are more confused than ever. Everywhere you look, people are saying, learn AI, learn agents, learn this, learn that. Junior developers are doomed. Software engineering is dead. Meanwhile, someone just trying to learn the basics is sitting there wondering if they should even continue anymore. And the truth is, AI has changed software development a lot. But I think the internet is making this way more confusing than it needs to be, because companies are still hiring developers. The difference is the valuable developers today look a bit different than they did a few years back. If I had to start over today with all the AI tools, all the noise, all the confusion, what would I actually focus on? What would I ignore? What skills would I build first? And how would I learn coding today without wasting the next 2 or 3 years of my life feeling overwhelmed? I'm going to break down this into 5 simple steps, and by the end of this video, you will have a much clearer roadmap for becoming a developer in 2026 without getting lost in this AI madness, random tutorials, and technologies you probably don't even need yet. I've also created a free roadmap you can check out in the description below. If you're new here, I'm Pete and I've been coding professionally since 2012. And after more than 14 years in software development, one thing became very clear to me. The developers who last are usually not the ones chasing every new shiny thing. They are the ones who understand fundamentals, solve problems, communicate clearly, and adapt when things change. Because real software development is not just typing code fast. Most of the job is figuring things out, debugging weird issues, talking to people, and building things that are actually useful. One of the biggest shocks for me when I started working professionally was realizing that real development looks nothing like those coding montage videos online. It's usually more like, why is this button moving 2 pixels to the left? Only in Safari? Or why did changing one line somehow break 10 other things? That is software development. And this is why beginners still have a huge opportunity in 2026 if they focus on the right things. Step 1, understand what AI actually changed. Now look, we need to talk briefly about AI. AI is changing software development, and there is no point pretending it isn't. Developers can build things faster now, and companies absolutely expect developers to use AI tools more and more. But I also think that a lot of beginners are misunderstanding what this actually means. Because many people online are acting like companies suddenly don't need developers anymore. That's simply not true. What's actually happening is this. For years, coding looked like it rewarded people who could memorize syntax and remember every command. Now, AI can help with a lot of that instantly. So companies value different skills now. Companies care less about memorizing syntax, remembering every method, or writing everything from scratch without help. And they care more about problem solving, understanding systems, communicating clearly, making good decisions, and knowing how to build useful things. In other words, AI is not replacing developers who know how to think. It's replacing parts of the work developers used to spend time on. And honestly, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Because even before AI, most developers, including me, were already Googling things constantly. Nobody memorizes everything. The real skill was never, can you remember everything? The real skill is, can you figure things out? And that's what companies pay for. So once you stop panicking about AI, the next question becomes, okay, Pete, what should I actually focus on learning? Step 2, build strong fundamentals. Honestly, I would ignore most of the noise. Because one of the biggest mistakes beginners make is trying to learn everything at the same time. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python, React, AI agents, cybersecurity, machine learning, game development. Meanwhile, they still don't fully understand the basics of the path they're already trying to follow. And I get it, because when you're a beginner, everything feels important. But trying to learn everything at once is one of the fastest ways to burn out and quit. So instead, I would pick one direction first: web development, mobile development, data analysis, game development, whatever makes the most sense for you. But pick just one. Then build strong fundamentals inside that path. For example, if I was choosing web development, I would learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Git, APIs, basic backend concepts, and databases. And if you choose a different path, the exact tools will change. I will not analyze every path in this video, but the free PDF below will. So whatever the path, the idea stays the same. Learn the foundations first, because frameworks change, tools change, AI tools definitely change every 10 minutes at this point, but fundamentals stay valuable for years. And honestly, this is one of the biggest advantages experienced developers have. It's not that they magically know every new technology instantly, it's that they already understand the underlying concepts. So when something new appears, they adapt much faster. And this is also why I would stop obsessing over finding the perfect map. Because beginners sometimes spend months trying to decide what to learn instead of actually learning. At some point, you need to stop watching roadmap videos and start building things. Step 3. Learn by building, not just watching. Knowing what to learn is important, but knowing how to learn properly is what actually keeps you moving forward. Back when I was learning, I genuinely thought progress meant consuming more tutorials. Another course, another YouTube video, another complete roadmap. And for a while, it did feel productive. But the moment I tried building something alone, my brain would suddenly disconnect from Wi-Fi. Because watching coding and building something yourself are completely different skills. And I really think this is where a lot of beginners get stuck. They spend months watching tutorials, but never get comfortable solving problems on their own. So, if I had to start again today, I would focus much more on active learning. What I mean by that? Build small projects, break things, debug, experiment, get stuck, fix problems, and repeat. Because struggling a little bit is part of learning. And honestly, think about when you start playing a new game. You don't first read the entire manual, memorizing every weapon, every map, every enemy, every shortcut. You start playing, you lose, you press the wrong buttons, you look ridiculous for a while, and slowly you get better. Coding is very similar. So one of the best things you can do as a beginner is stop trying to feel ready before building projects. You are not supposed to feel ready at this point. And to be honest, sometimes I still start projects feeling confused. That feeling never fully disappears, and that's totally fine. You just become better at figuring things out. This is also why structured learning can help a lot. Random tutorials can make beginners feel completely lost. If I was learning today, I would use something structured and hands-on like Scrimba. Check the first link below if you want to check them out. You don't need a magical platform, but a clear path and real exercises can save you a lot of confusion. Step 4. Use AI as a tool, not a shortcut. Now, let's talk about how I would actually use AI while learning, because I think this is where a lot of beginners are making a huge mistake right now. Some people are completely ignoring AI, which I don't think it's a good idea. But other people are doing the exact opposite. They're copying entire projects from ChatGPT without understanding anything. And honestly, that's dangerous too. Because if AI writes everything for you, your brain never learns how to solve problems on its own. And eventually, you reach a point where even small changes become difficult because you don't actually understand what's happening. Personally, I think the best way to use AI is as an assistant and not as a replacement for thinking. For example, asking AI to explain concepts, help you debug errors, review your code, suggest improvements, or help you understand why something works can be incredibly powerful for learning. But if your entire workflow becomes copy, paste, pray, you're probably slowing down your long-term progress. And honestly, companies can usually tell the difference pretty quickly, because there's a huge difference between someone who used AI to become more productive and someone who became completely dependent on it. It's kind of like using GPS while driving. GPS is incredibly useful, but if you blindly follow it without understanding where you are, how roads work, or what's happening around you, the moment the GPS messes up, you're completely lost. And honestly, AI can feel very similar. It can help you move faster, but if you rely on it for everything without understanding the code underneath, eventually you hit a wall the moment something breaks or needs to be changed. AI becomes most powerful when you already understand the fundamentals behind the code. Not memorizing everything, but understanding what's actually happening. Because developers who combine fundamentals, problem solving, communication, and AI tools are going to become incredibly powerful. Step 5. Build projects that prove you can actually build. And finally, probably the most important step of all, build projects. Because in 2026, having knowledge is not enough anymore. You need something to show. You need proof. And honestly, this is one of the biggest mistakes beginners make. They spend months learning, watching tutorials, planning, and then they have nothing to show for it. Meanwhile, another beginner with less knowledge but 3 or 4 real projects can look much more valuable. These projects prove that you can solve problems, finish things, debug issues, learn independently, and turn ideas into something real. And honestly, in a world where AI can generate code, your value is no longer just, can you type code? Your value becomes, can you think of useful ideas? Can you solve problems? Can you turn messy ideas into something functional? That is what starts making developers stand out. And the beautiful thing is, you do not need some revolutionary billion-dollar app idea to start. Some of the best beginner projects are actually very, very simple. A habit tracker, a budgeting app, a workout tracker, a small game, a tool that solves a tiny problem in your own life. That's more than enough. Because the goal of beginner projects is not to impress Silicon Valley. The goal is to become dangerous through practice. And honestly, I'm thinking of making another video very, very soon showing you the exact projects I would build in 2026, from complete beginner projects all the way to projects that could actually impress recruiters. So if you want that video, comment projects below. So look, if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, is this. You do not need to learn everything to become a developer in 2026. You really don't. But you do need the basics. You need to build things and you need to keep learning when things change. And if you can use AI without letting it do all the thinking for you, I genuinely think you still have a huge opportunity. If you want the free roadmap, it's waiting for you in the description. And if you want me to make videos for specific paths like mobile development, cybersecurity, AI engineering, or game development, let me know in the comments below. And if you're serious about becoming a developer, watch this playlist next. It has some of the most important lessons I've learned in the last 14 years. Like this video if it helped and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, you legends. I'm Pete and I'll see you on the next one.